Hello, so this recording focuses on price elasticity of supply. So far we've looked at price elasticity of demand, and this is looking at the consumer demand side of things. Now we're going to look at it from the other side, which is actually the supplier side of things. So you as an event management manager who might run a company, in terms of how much you might supply relative to a change in price. So you can calculate this very much in the same way as you would calculate the price elasticity of demand. And as it says there, it's basically about the responsiveness of the quantity supplied relative to a change in price. So you can see a very similar equation there. You've got the percentage change in quantity supplied divided by the percentage change in price, and that equals the price elasticity of supply. And if we break that down into the different components, say you've got the new quantity supplied minus the original quantity supplied divided by the original quantity supplied. That gives you the percentage change in quantity supplied. And then you've got the bottom there, the new price minus the original price divided by the original price. Okay, so you're probably never going to have to calculate it, but that's how it would work. So once we've done that calculation, we'll get a value which is either greater than 1 or less than 1. So if price elasticity of supply is greater than 1, then we know the supply is elastic. So if the price rises, you will get a proportionally larger change in the quantity supplied. So as the price goes up, an event management company might decide to supply a lot more events or a lot more, say tickets to events. On the other hand, if the price elasticity of supply is less than 1, the supply is inelastic, and the price rise would cause a proportionally smaller change in the quantity supplied. So even though the price goes up, there may be reasons why the supplier is not actually able to offer, say, more tickets. So it depends on a number of things. So you can see here, at the bottom there are issues related to costs. So, if it is actually cheap to produce more, it's more elastic. So an example there would be if you have a venue and it's easy to open up more capacity, then it's actually quite cheap for you. You might not have to employ more people. You can probably sell more tickets. You can open up a new bit of space without actually having to raise your costs a lot. And then it's likely to be elastic. So if the price rises a little, you can supply a lot more quantity. You can offer more tickets. But there are issues, for instance, related to time period there, because it can be quite hard to produce more quickly. And in this case, the supply elasticity of demand is inelastic. Now, an example would be a company that owns a number of venues. Maybe they own a series of nightclubs, and they've been doing well, but their venues are at capacity. Now they realise they could actually sell more. They can put the prices up, because it's so popular. But they can't actually supply more because they'd have to open up new venues, and that takes time because they'd have to either buy or rent venues, and therefore it makes the demand much more inelastic. So the price might go up because it's being popular, but they can't supply more quantity. So just to kind of conclude here, it's really useful to understand these issues in relation to setting price. And we will cover a little bit more on this in one of my lectures on the, she's just looking across at the income elasticity of demand and cross-price elasticity of demand. But from an event manager point of view, it's very helpful to understand and be aware of what might happen if there are changes in disposable income, if, prices of a substitute, maybe a substitute event or a complementary product or service changes. There's obviously things like tastes and fashions, and that might kind of change things and have an impact here, or the state of the economy, whether it's in contraction or expansion. So a number of things we might need to think about in relation to our prices.